say hello and welcome back to the MMA Split Picks show for UFC Vegas. Johnny Walker taking on Jamahal Hill in the light heavyweight division. Some good fights on this card. Card was looking a little deeper, but they decided to push some of these fights down so that they could be on UFC 272. Yeah, 272's card. So certainly it's going to make that card extra special, but we've got some really talented fighters. The main event is fire. Two young, talented, exciting guys. I feel are on slightly different trajectories. That's just me, but we're going to be discussing all of that along with the rest of the cards, and then a very exciting interview that I'm not going to spoil because we will be releasing it in a later video, but certainly watch out. Look for the drop coming on YouTube. It's going to be hitting our channel pretty soon after this episode does. So very exciting there. And first and foremost, Josh, we got, obviously Johnny Walker's a little bit older. He's had a few more UFC fights. He kind of was on that hype train that got derailed and pushed him up maybe further than he should have been. Had a bit of a rough ride since then. When you look at him coming up against Jamahal Hill, obviously had the setback against our man Paul Craig, but Moretta?
Well, sorry, I thought you were talking about Johnny Walker.
No, I'm talking about Jamahal Hill. Yeah. Had the slip up against Paul Craig, but bounced back brilliantly against Jimmy Crute. Johnny Walker's lost 3 of 4, I think it is. He's got a win over Superman Span tucked in the middle there. But obviously the Moretta loss, he lost to the Krylov?
Yeah, Krylov and 25-8 Beastin, soon to be Bellator champion Corey Anderson.
Bellator title challenger, most certainly. So those aren't bum names, but for me personally, I think Jamahal Hill might be something special.
Even if he's not, he takes a punch an awful lot better than Johnny does.
He's faster than Johnny.
Yep, he is all kinds of dangerous. Like with Johnny Walker, the one thing you have to say about him is he's always a threat. He's proven that he has got kind of one-strike knockouts. But I really just don't see him landing cleanly on Jamahal before he gets his chin tested. And as much as I love John Kavanagh, I don't know if SPG is the right kind of place for him. Like, I can't remember the coach that said it about him, but that old saying about Dennis Rodman, like, don't try to overcoach this kid. Don't get in his head. You don't put a saddle on a Mustang.
Saddle on a Mustang.
Yeah.
There's
now, I'm not saying Johnny Walker's a Mustang, but I'm saying that, that same kind of principle applies. This is a kid with a roof, just because, he has got a bit of a glass jaw. I don't know that trying to get him to be a point fighter is going to work in his favor in the long run. He's better off winning 2 out of 3, having exciting fights against low-level competition or lower-level competition than he is really trying to, forge his craft and work his way up the rankings. Cynical, yes. Unwarranted, I don't know. I really think it's fair to say that. The guy's always been a fucking nutbag. Did he break his collarbone or dislocate his shoulder doing the worm?
One of the two. Bad injury. I would argue his right hand hasn't looked as effective since that injury.
Yeah, that was... so that would have been after Justin Ledette and Khalil Roundtree. Was it even... I think it might have been celebrating the Khalil Roundtree fight. Am I off base there?
I think it was the Serkinov fight. It was either the Serkinov fight or it was the... Because I think Roundtree was...
Yeah, before Ledette, so...
Yeah.
So, you're right, probably Serkinov.
I'll give Kavanagh a pass on this because I don't think Johnny's shown to have a great chin. And I think Kavanagh's probably trying to get him to fight in a style that's not going to get him hit clean. And I can certainly understand where the logic is there. But the Moretta fight, you and I were both saying Moretta's knees are not the same. His movement is not the same. And the way that he fought that, the decisions that were made, I just thought it was very safe. And the thing about Jamahal Hill, and I think this is the biggest difference between him and Johnny Walker, is Jamahal Hill fundamentally is a lot further ahead. There's so much wasted movement with Walker. Jamahal Hill, he's fast, he has reach, he uses it, but there's not a lot of wasted motion. You look at the Jimmy Crute fight. Crew threw that shot, just didn't even consider that the left hook was going to come that quick. And it did. And he timed it perfectly. And it was very, his hands were a little low, but it wasn't easy to read or see. And I think that's going to be a big factor to him. Now, he beat Oven St. Preux? I like Oven St. Preux, but he's not really there anymore. So I would say Johnny Walker's had harder tests, but he struggled against Ryan Spann. I think Jamahal Hill would murder Ryan Spann. I really do. I don't think it would be close. And I think he's more confident. I think he's got a much better foundation. He's been at the same gym for a while. He likes the guys that he trains with. He believes in his coaches. He has that fundamental grounding. Johnny feels like he's a guy that's kind of, has a bad result. Remember, he was training at TriStar and then that didn't work out and he left there. So he's kind of been jumping around a little bit. And I don't think that he's as set or as confident or as ready in his career. So, Otis, I know that you disagree with me, but I'm speaking truth here. I'm speaking truth. I think this is Jamahal Hill's to win. I think he's going to win early. I think it's going to be a maybe second round TKO, but it's a knockout or a TKO for me.
Oh yeah, I'm going knockout. I mean,
yeah.
if Kavanagh really has got him kind of fighting the same way that he lost to Santos, which he just has too much work to shore up to play a fundamental kind of strategy. It's just he doesn't have that skill set, so that's never going to work. And he's not young enough, and I don't think he's coachable enough. You can really get that into his head right now. It's a foregone conclusion. Last time I said this, I ended up kind of having to eat my words. But this is an absolute mismatch. There's no way Walker wins this fight. I'm going Hill by KO.
We've cursed him now by saying no way, but I still think Hill's going to get the job done. Moving down to our co-main event, we've got Carl Daukaus taking on Jamie Pickett in a catchweight bout. Who dropped out that Daukaus was meant to fight?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I do know this. Oh, yeah, Cuban Missile Crisis. Julian Marquez.
Oh, shit, that would have been a way more fun fight. Fuck it, shit happens. What can we say about this fight? We don't rate Daukaus little over Daukaus big quite as much, but he's still a really good fighter and he's a hell of a lot better than Jamie Pickett. I'll tell you what, if Jamie Pickett has this dull, boring clinch on the side of the cage win against Carl Daukaus, I'll start accepting he might actually be quite good and just have this horrible style to deal with. But hoping that I don't live in that reality, I'm going to pick Daukaus to piece him up and win a comfortable decision.
Nice. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to say Daukaus by sub.
Fair enough. Parker Porter takes on Alan Badeau in the heavyweight division. I'm just not that hot on Parker Porter. I'm going to go Badeau and I'm going to go decision.
I mean, I'm not that hot on either guy, but like Badeau, it's like, you lost to Aspinall. He's a fucking beast. How much can I really judge that? Fuck it. I'm going to go Porter because Sly's not here. And too many of these separation. Are up. Yeah, Porter. I have no faith in the lad. I'm going to go decision.
Probably a smart move. Jim Miller takes on Nicholas Mota. Jim Miller, the legend himself, ageless, coming off obviously his first knockout win in God knows how many years in his last fight. Who did he fight? Somebody really good.
It was someone all right. Eric Gonzalez. I think Gonzalez was debuting.
Yeah, but they had high hopes for him.
Yes, he didn't look a bad fighter, to be honest. Just it was kind of a weird one as well, the way he got caught, and then the referee can't really see the angle. It was really like he kind of got knocked out twice, but he's got a fight coming up, I believe.
Gonzalez.
He's fighting on this card, isn't he?
He is. That shows how prepared we were for this.
I've had a long day. I didn't get any chance to cram in my prep work on this. We've got an interview coming after, as you alluded to. and that's all that we kind of pre-gamed yesterday. So yeah, I
He's
haven't got
not
these
on this
written
card.
down. I've usually got them all written down, and now I am just fucking winging it.
He's not on this card.
Maybe
Maybe he's on next week's card.
maybe got scratched. He's supposed to be fighting on the 19th against Nicholas Motta. I'm on Tapology though, so that may very well have been scrapped.
Wait, are you talking about Eric Gonzalez or are you talking about Jim Miller?
Both.
So Jim Miller is fighting Nicholas Motta.
That's I'm looking at the wrong Tapology there. That's what that is. Been a long fucking.
You were
day,
confusing me so much there. You're like,
day.
yeah, Eric Gonzalez is on the card. He's fighting Nicholas Motta. Okay.
Eric Gonzalez has got a fight coming up. It's probably not on this card. He is fighting, next month on the 5th at 272 against my favorite namesake, Devontae Smith.
Yeah, good reason
Smith
for that.
Again, because he shit the bed last time.
But I know.
Whatever.
So back to this fight. Nicholas Motta is coming into this fight hungry. And what I mean by this is he is literally hungry. He's been waiting for his UFC debut for a while. His previous debut got cancelled, and he said he's broke as shit waiting for this fight. So he's getting a chance to come in, take out the legend Jim Miller. But Miller's still got it, man. Like, without knowing that much about Nicholas Motta, I can't pick Jim Miller after his last performance, because who the fuck says he can't win this fight? He's dangerous on the ground. If he actually can get some knockout power back, he's got all the skill, all the crafty veteran. He can survive difficult points. I'm going to go Jim Miller by sub.
Yeah, it's smart. I don't think the methods are going to really matter too much this week, but I'm going to say Miller by decision just because he is getting older. The dude does cope with Lyme disease. He's an absolute fucking legend. A10's a beast. But yeah, I'm going to be conservative. I think Parker Porter just put a bad thought in my head. Now I'm just going to pick decisions from here on out.
Fair enough. You're not picking a decision on this next fight.
He's winning. No, I'm not. No.
Okay, and the title of the Who the Fuck Knows fight goes to the card opener. Joaquin Buckley taking on Abdul Razak Al Hassan, who I had pretty much given up on. But then he became a middleweight and looked like an absolute fucking beast in his last fight. Joaquin Buckley, I still think, should maybe be a middleweight. I don't think, a welterweight. I don't think middleweight is his, I think he's got such terrific knockout power and he's so aggressive that he can get away with it because he's fast and he gets on the inside. But I think welterweight would be, if you look at his height, all the rest, a better division for him. I don't fucking know on this one, man. I mean, there's an element of who lands first. Obviously Al Hassan, you can't really factor in too much of what we've seen at welterweight because he said that he's a different fighter who was so worried about getting tired the whole time, and he just looked so good in his last fight. And then you've got Buckley where it's, he knocks a guy out, he gets knocked out. He knocks a guy out, he gets knocked out. He's a little inconsistent. I'm going to say Al Hassan on this one by knockout. Think a little calmer, not as reckless. Buckley puts himself in danger to trade, and I think he'll get caught.
I don't know. I've got flashes of the Chaos Williams fight. Look, it was a beautiful win, beating ADC, but it's just a quick knockout. It's a bit of a flash in the pan kind of result. You can't really measure him too much by that. I'm going to go with Buckley. I just feel like he's a bit more of a proven quality.
Can I remind you in that fight that ADC had a block up and he still got knocked the fuck out?
Yeah. It's a great kick. And, same as Anderson Silva jabbing Forrest Griffin, I'm conscious. Sometimes there's a bit more to it. I'm not going to try and over-speculate, but my point is, it's a beautiful head kick, but I already knew that both of these boys can really kind of bring the thunder. They are explosive gentlemen. They have some nice knockouts. This
is true. We're going to find out. We're going to find out on Saturday. Didn't need to ask what the method was. I kind of pieced that one together myself. Then, kicking off, we're headlining the prelims. We have got Gabriel Benitez taking on David Onama. Onama lost his debut to Mason Jones, but was obviously coming in with a lot of hype. Who's his trainer? He's trained by somebody very high profile. I think it's James Krause. I may be wrong. I will keep talking while you look that up.
Kansas City, Missouri. Yeah, Glory MMA. James
There
Krause.
we go. So great coach in the corner. Perfect guy to have there to help pick yourself up after a rough performance. And he's taken on Gabriel Benitez, who has obviously been in the UFC forever. And very experienced fighter, but I don't think he has still got it. And I think that this is a good opportunity for Onama to come in, take out an old vet and get some credit, particularly after the loss to Mason Jones. I'm saying Onama, and I think knockout.
So since we started doing this podcast, I keep going about for Gabriel Benitez, and he keeps fucking me over. And I'm sorry, Mowgli, but you're in the doghouse, pal. I am going to go Onama by decision.
Gabriel would understand. He's a winner. Or he used to be. That was mean.
Yeah, he's like 1-3 since we started doing this podcast.
You've cursed him, mate. Maybe he's going to win because you didn't pick him this time.
No, I picked him to win one time. So it's not directly to do with me. He doesn't do it out of spite. I don't know, he just doesn't seem to be wholly present in the fight. He doesn't seem to be fighting to his strengths enough. I don't know if it's a bit of passion's just kind of worn off, a bit of a jaded approach, but yeah, he looks like he's streets behind.
That's unfortunate. Well, we're going to see it on Saturday. Women's bantamweight, Jessica Rose Clark, who has shown up with all of her Harley Quinn energy. She's got the hair. She already had the heart tattoo. She already had a lot of the body tattoos. Not Harley Quinn. She just happens to like tattoos. And she is coming in super confident after a very impressive win in her last fight after a little bit of time away, taking on Stephanie Egger. And I don't know that much about Stephanie Egger, and I don't think she's got that much of a chance here. I think Rose Clark is going to be in her face, making things happen, taking her down, beating her up. I think she's going to get a decision win.
Yeah, I mean, Egger has a couple of UFC fights. Dropped one of Tracy Cortez, beat Shanna Young. I think Jessica Rose Clark has been looking really good. She's on a 2-fight streak. I'm going to go Jessica Rose decision.
Probably a safe pick. Chaz Skelly hopefully will actually get to fight this time, taking on Mark Striegel. And they have identical records, but I will be honest, I do not know a lot about Mark Striegel, so I will let you educate our fantastic audience about his potential benefits.
What a dick. Again, haven't done any prep work. Who the fuck are you?
I forgot.
No, look.
I thought maybe
Striegel,
you might just have him in the back pocket.
No, I mean, we saw him get knocked out by the Nurmagomedov from a different Ademov, Saeed Nurmagomedov.
The Notagomedov.
The Notagomedov. But yeah, you know what I mean? A first-round knockout, first-minute knockout. I can't really evaluate the man too hard. That being said, I kind of love Chaz Skelly. So this one's easy for me to pick because I'm just going to go Skelly by decision.
The guy knows every single word to Fuck Her Gently by Tenacious D. That in itself deserves some credit. And he is willing to sing it on his own in front of people recording him, which also deserves credit. With no music, full a cappella.
It's a cool song, but it's a great video. I don't know how
I've
well.
Never seen the video, man. I've never seen the video. I used to have the Tenacious D on iTunes, and I never watched any of the YouTube videos for the ship.
I had a friend that was obsessed with Tenacious D growing up, so I've seen I think all of the videos from the first album. Did they ever do anything after the first album? I know they did the movie, but
they did the movie, which also had its own album and does have a couple of good songs. It's got Master Exploder, which is cool. And the opening track is quite cool, which has got Dio making an appearance and Meatloaf is in it, and it has its moments, the movie. It's not a great movie, but some of the songs are kind of okay.
Well, this was in an era where Kyle Gass and Jack Black weren't doing that many good movies. They did a lot of dog shit comedies.
Yeah, well, basically Jack Black does School of Rock and Shallow Hal, and then a real dry spell of shite came through after that. Do you remember Nacho Libre?
I like Nacho Libre. I also liked Saving Silverman, or as it was called in Europe, Evil Woman, with Amanda
Never
Peet,
saw that.
Jason Biggs, and fuck, I forgot who the main dude is. It's
Never
also
saw
got
that.
the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket.
That's awesome.
He's awesome in it. Like, it's
You know, he was a
film,
real
but it's
drill
quite
sergeant.
interesting. Yeah. He was only in there as a consultant, but like they ended up replacing the guy they'd hired, the guy they cast with him because he was just better.
And most of the insults and stuff like that, that's all just him. That wasn't written down. That was shit that he would actually say to training recruits, which is very terrifying. Very terrifying. Let really hope that this Russia-Ukraine situation calms the fuck down, because I am not ready for World War III, man. I don't, you know, people don't seem like they're happy after they come back from war, you know?
No.
And that's if you win.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm not going to get into it on the podcast, but this is an MMA podcast. We veer off tangent. We go off piece a lot, but I don't want to get involved right now. Talking about.
True.
It's been a long day, mate. Haven't even prepped the picks. Now you want me to talk about World War III.
Okay. And we got 12 minutes before our interview, so let's get back on track. We're looking at women's strawweight, Diana Belbita versus Gloria De Paula. And I'm going Belbita by TK.
Going Belbita by decision.
Chad Chad Anheliger versus Jesse Strader. I'm going to break my rule, and I'm going to go Anheliger for this one. She seems a bit more experienced, making his debut. I'm going to say decision win.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the betting line. I don't know Anheliger. Quite a heavy favourite. Anheliger by decision.
Pardon me. JSP, Jonathan Pierce himself, taking on Christian Rodriguez, making his UFC debut and is undefeated at 7-0. Can't count out JSP, man. He's had some great comeback wins in the UFC. Obviously lost. Was it Joe Lozon he lost to?
Yeah, Joe Lozon. And then immediately after fighting him at lightweight, Kai Kamaka at featherweight, Omar Morales at featherweight, and now Christian Rodriguez at featherweight. You know, the guy hasn't lost 145 in the UFC. And I think Christian Rodriguez is a good fighter, but I'm going to go JSP. Oh, maybe sub. No, I'll go decision. Parker Porter just put a conservative frame of mind around me today. So
I'm glad that you said that, because I'm going JSP by submission.
Again, the methods won't matter this week. I think we've got enough separation.
Hopefully. Final fight, bantamweight division, Mario Batista taking on newcomer Jay Perrin. I'm just going to stick with experience for this one. Batista by decision.
Yo también, Batista, decision.
Very nice. Nice little card. Obviously, it's, you know, the card after the card, as we've often talked about before, but main event I'm super excited for. We've got 2 weeks until UFC 272, but a little bit of news that got broken since we did our last show. Dariush is out against Islam Makhachev. Did we talk about this already? No, we didn't.
No.
And Bobby the King Green is stepping in for a catchweight fight on short notice against the scariest guy in the division. So much respect for that man. Josh is way less excited about this, but I'm all hyped.
No, I'm not excited about it. It's just that my view is that the UFC are not giving Bobby Green his due respect by offering him this short notice fight. I think Bobby Green's only got so many fights left in him, and he should be fighting against ranked guys in a prominent spot on a good card. and that's how he should end his career. And as you know, taking a short notice fight against a guy like Islam Makhachev, I think he's probably going to get mauled, and then he's just going to fight one or two more fights against people that I don't care about as much. He won't get a chance to maybe sign another contract somewhere else or re-up with the UFC on a better rate. He'll just, kind of just fight out his career on the money he's on, which isn't really fair. Bobby Green deserves our respect. I think the matchmakers should have done him a better solid than this. Yes, if he wins, what a fantastic opportunity. Derail a guy like Islam. It's such a big fucking if, though. To me, I understand how it makes sense. And it's not like he would have gotten offered that fight, a few weeks ago, or if things had gone differently. They view it as we're throwing him a bone. I view it as they're giving him a poison chalice, but whatever.
You said to me yesterday that you think Bobby Green's got better wrestling than Justin Gaethje.
Yes.
Now, I realize that when it comes to somebody like a Makhachev, it shouldn't matter because that skills tree is so much further developed than anybody else on the Western side of the world. And Bobby doesn't have that severe knockout power that might keep him at bay. But when it's Bobby Green, man, you never know. Most people thought Fiziev was just going to outclass him. And he may have lost that fight, but he was certainly not outclassed. And he's just one of these guys, man. His whole career, he's not always had the best of results. But really, outside of Dustin Poirier, he's never, and maybe one or two other fights, even against really top-level guys, he's never looked average. He's never looked out of place. And I think he's confident. I think although it's a short-notice fight, it's after a fight where he performed excellently and didn't take a lot of damage. So there's genuine momentum. He's got the conditioning. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's 99% chance probably Makhachev just runs through him. But this is why you love sport, man. It's that dare to dream moment, It doesn't always work out. It didn't work out for Masvidal taking the title shot on 5 days' notice. But man, those 5 days...
Dan Hooker.
Didn't work out for Dan Hooker. But man, the build-up to those fights, man, I allowed myself to believe. And it got me way more excited about it. And I'm more pumped about this than I was when it was Dariush. And Dariush, I actually thought had a chance to win that fight. It would have been way more competitive.
Oh, I'm way more excited for the former proposition. I would way rather have Benny against Islam, but Bobby Green, yeah, he deserves a big name. It's just, Islam has such a diverse array of takedowns and trips that even if your wrestling is really solid like Bobby's is, he's not going to be able to stay on his feet, and he's not going to be able to dictate how he goes down. And Islam is just going to be, passing guard all day and smothering on top. And I just think it's going to be another early submission. He's really got a taste for that now with Dan. So,
well, let me ask you this:
reborn a murderer.
What would your pick have been if this was still Dariush against Makhachev?
Still Makhachev, but I think it's a much, much closer fight. I think Benny's a bad matchup in some respects. Or not a bad matchup, a less favorable matchup.
Benny's crazy, man. Green. That's the difference, man. Yeah. He will throw strikes in bad positions, and he will put himself at risk to try and land something in a way that I think had the potential to unsettle Makhachev. Because Makhachev can strike, make no doubt about it, but he's very fundamental and technical. He has that understanding of, keep yourself safe, just use it to set up the opportunity. And, the real question for me was going to be can Dariush's jiu-jitsu on the bottom create enough scrambles and position changes that he can deal with somebody like Makhachev's wrestling on the top? That was the question that I would like to see answered. And could he just press the I don't give a fuck button, get in his face, force Makhachev to trade, force him into positions where he's going for takedowns that aren't set up, and, start being able to land uppercuts and knees from that? Probably Makhachev, but like you say, he's a bad style matchup. It's a shame that that's not the fight that we're getting.
The other thing is he's very industrious. He does what they drill. He sticks to the plan. Whatever Cordero tells him to do, he does it. And, that was his undoing with Barboza. He went back to the well with that same level change setup and then ends up, eating a knee to the face. Because Barbosa is a genius when it comes to striking. Makhachev is a genius when it comes to the ground game. Benny has all the tools to theoretically succeed, but as soon as he has shown a sequence to Makhachev once, he can't risk reusing that. And it's different on the ground, right? Because a lot of it is just you going to money stuff and like doing what kind of works well for you, your strength, your body frame. But as soon as he kind of tries to go butterfly guard to something else, the next time he does it, Islam will capitalize on that repetition. That was my fear with that fight, really. He just doesn't hold up well against geniuses and Alex Hernandez. But what can you do?
Yeah, that will a Hernandez when it happens, man. Like Makhachev has a defeat of that nature on his record as well. Sometimes it happens. You get caught early, you're not quite there. Shit happens. But it's a shame. Apparently, the injury, Brett Okamoto was apparently there when it happened, and he literally got his foot caught in a mat, and then somebody take him down, and it twisted, and just not good. So it's not like a serious injury, but it's not like a, cold feet. Like it's genuinely he wouldn't be able to compete. By the way, talking about, sorry, go ahead.
It was never in doubt for me. I don't question a guy like Benny D.
No, and he's had a confidence about this fight. Even when it was booked, he didn't have that same kind of fear factor that a lot of other people had. Or even build up. He was very nonchalant about it. Just like, man, if fucking these crybabies that don't want to fight me out of the top 5, here we go. We'll see what happens for him. It's a shame because I don't know, depending on how long he's out, this was his opportunity to win a fight and be in the title shot picture. And this kind of pushes him maybe 2 fights away from that now, if you look at how things line up. So,
yeah.
One sec. Right, our guest is ready. So we will call it an end of this episode as we get ready for the interview. Guys, thank you very much for watching.
See you on the other side.
Click the like and subscribe button. And bye Dave, bye Laurie, bye Trifo.
Bye Dave.